Hey there, in this tutorial I'm going to discuss Foundation Framework. This is a framework which is responsive and you can use it to build your websites, and everything that you get from this framework includes grids, forms, elements like buttons, boxes, lightbox, and many other elements that form this front-end framework. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to download this framework on our desktop, and then we are going to hack away for a simple website which is responsive, as well as it is going to be serving us all the elements that usually require us to spend a lot of time to build from scratch. So first thing is click on download foundation button. Right now it is version 5, but if you're watching this away from, let's say, like 2014 onwards, then you are going to see a new version of this framework. But what I'm going to discuss here will be common for most of the frameworks that are going to be delivered in the future. So first step is to download this framework and extract the files on your desktop, something like this. You will have CSS folder, IMG folder, JS folder, and index.html, which are renamed to foundation. Inside CSS folder you will find foundation.css, foundationmin.css, normalize.css. These are the CSS files which you are going to call and use it for building our website. In IMG folder, basically it is empty and you are supposed to use it for your images. In JS folder you are going to find foundation minified JS file. After that there is foundation folder, inside which you will have a lot of JavaScript files like for accordion, alert, clearing, drop down, equalizer, interchange, joyride, foundation JS, and many other JS files. Each of these files serves a purpose, like you're going to have JavaScript for alert, and you're going to use this existing JS file for the same instead of writing your own alert from JavaScript in scratch. After that there is also vendor folder where you are supposed to have third-party vendor JavaScript files like jQuery, modernizer, placeholder, fastclick, etc, etc. And after that you have this index.html which I have opened here, that will show you how you can use the framework. Like this is your 12 column read, 6 columns, 6 columns, 4 columns, and the form elements like input, select box, radio box, checkbox, and text area label. There is also a sidebar with a bunch of buttons to show you how you can use the buttons, and this box for telling you how to use sidebar boxes, and also link to the foundation document. So when you go to the download button, there is option for you to download complete version, which I have downloaded, then essential, which will be smaller with less files, like less JavaScript and CSS files, then custom, where you get to choose the download, and SAS, which is something you should consider if you are good with CSS and want to use this framework for the same. You get to also change the primary, secondary, and other colors, and based on that you can download the custom build. So that being said, we'll see how we can write our first simple web page using Foundation Framework. So I have my first HTML file with doc type declaration for HTML5. Then I have character set as UTF-8 in my header, also meta name viewport for device width, the standard tag. After that, the title foundation, I'm going to change it to simple responsive. Okay, after that I have added foundation CSS, also modernizer JS. At the end of the body tag you will find vendor jQuery and foundation minified version of JavaScript. Then I have script that calls foundation class, and after that I have closed body and HTML tag. Now we will go to the foundation documents to see how our grids work. We will start with big grid, like say 12 columns. Okay, so 12 columns will be our starting benchmark. Okay, so we have here option for 444, 363, 282, 39, 4857 and 66. So let's first start with our simple grid here. So we're gonna drop here. When I say div class row, I'm going to make sure that there is a row added in between multiple grids. So whenever you're forming multiple grids like small 2, small 4, small 6 within a page like this, then you are in need of a space in between these two, and this can be filled with the help of div class row. You'll find out why to use it and when to use it when you actually get to use it on a project. So let's first start with our first small grid, then we will small medium grid, and then small large grid, okay. So when I have this as 4 columns, large 4 and smaller grid, and you will find that within browser it will show us the position for that. Okay, so this is how, when we are going to place the elements within each of the grid, you will get the idea how it will be seen. You can follow the same again for this part and onwards. So when we are working with grids, you have to choose the grid style based on your design, and in such case you will find out that using a small and then the combination of large 4 or 2 columns, how they are going to help your project. For example, in case of small 2 and large 4 columns, you find that it has small 2 within which there are 4 large columns. After that, you'll find that in this larger grid there are 3 columns, then for 6 there are 6, and going on from there. In case of 9 and above, you'll find that working with large columns will help. Now this all should be viewed from the way you are going to create the page. In some cases your content will have a single sidebar or 2 sidebar. In case of 2, you can make use of 4 columns. In case of single sidebar, 6 column grid on left and 6 on right will suffice, or even 4 and 8, and that's how you're going to view your project. And then make use of this grid class for the columns, or you can say column class, get things going. Okay, so if you're used to saying this as a column class or even grid class, that's just fine. That's how we just say, but you get the idea of how to use the columns. So what I have shown you here is a small grid example, and you can even extend this example for medium grid, also for advanced grid, where you can have nests. Okay, so like having a big or large column inside which you have again 2 nested columns. Okay, so we have our page with smaller grids, and like say small grid, medium grid, and then larger grid. Make sure you understand the concept that we are going to fill up with 12 column grid, which is going to be a responsive, and then in which we can have nested columns, and then we are going to place our elements in it. So in other tutorials I will discuss some of the elements of foundation framework, like say lightbox, forms, buttons, and a slider, or you can say carousel, and other elements that foundation framework offers us. So I hope this tutorial helped, and I will see you in next tutorial.